DCM.WORKS, I wear shoes everywhere, even to bed.
Be advised, this podcast features grown-ups using grown-up words.
Welcome to Not Another Smallville. My name is Steph, and I've never seen the show before.
And my name's David, and I've seen it probably too many times.
And this is Season 1, Episode 3.
Boys and girls, your attention please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality.
Episode after Bugman.
Episode after Bugman. All I can think of is Clark with a dumb hick accent.
Oh.
I don't even know that came around halfway through the episode. You were like,
yeah.
Well, howdy. I don't know how that started.
Basically, yeah, just halfway through the episode. I think it was because I remembered that they're supposed to be from Kansas. And so,
like hicks or whatever.
Yeah, so David and I just started making fun of the way they talk. Even though they
Hey
don't
there,
talk like
Papa
that at all.
Kent.
like-
just want to play football. Nobody understands me.
Daddy!
Daddy, why don't you believe in me? So good. So this was actually a much better episode.
It was, in terms of character development and everything. The actual plot itself was darker, even though it probably wasn't as visually shocking as the previous shocking.
Well, the previous episode was the bugs, not
Yeah,
the
not,
shocking.
yeah, I know.
But,
But
you know what? No, you're right.
Essentially, it was just, the premise was the sort of American football
Yeah, your typical
coach,
bully high school coach.
Yeah, who essentially, bullies the students that play for him.
Yep.
Like, actually, physically
Well, he actually,
abused.
beats them up and shit. Like, properly a child abuse, not just...
And anyway, of course, he's in a sauna, and I called it, the sauna, the coals in the sauna are like, have kryptonite in them.
The minute that he walked into a sauna, you went, oh, well, there's going to be kryptonite coals.
Yeah.
And then the next shot was him pouring water onto kryptonite coals.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, like, what else could there be, really?
What's the setup for this? That's always how it goes, though.
Because everything's going to be due to kryptonite.
You also called
at this point.
the Asian principal.
Yes.
So I pointed out that it was good representation that there was an Asian principal.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, it'll be something racist.
It'll be something racist like Principal Kwan.
He was
and then it was
Principal
Kwan.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually.
I was impressed. I was like, oh my god, Steph, okay. I'll back off and you clearly know what you're doing.
This is my episode.
You got it this time. I was like, but so he hits the kids or whatever, and then he gets these fire powers, and he tries to kill the principal.
Yeah.
But Clark saves him.
Yes, and he also burnt one of the kids that he actually beat and, like, used the fire to intimidate them and everything.
Yep.
And anyway, also tried to kill Chloe
Yep,
when
Chloe
she
was
was going to
investigating.
publish a picture
Of him with the fire.
Him with all the fire.
Yeah. This episode, she had a lot more to do, I felt.
Yeah, especially in terms of, like, actually being the one to solve who was
she
the
worked everything
perpetrator.
out.
Yeah, whereas this time Clark was sort of just...
He just did the...
He was just the accessory, honestly.
He turned up and at the end
Did
he
the
just
thing.
stood still like he always does at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
Where the villain he confronts the villain.
And the villain kills themselves.
He throws them across the room twice and the villain kills himself.
Yeah, we've pretty much established that. We think there's going to be a pattern where all the villains essentially kill themselves.
I don't know how long that's going to last, because I feel like the first time he's going to have to actually do something about a villain, that's going to be like a big thing.
It's going to be a big thing where he's like, oh, but I don't want to kill them.
Don't want to kill them, yeah, because that's a big thing about Superman.
Though, to be fair, like, he didn't have any qualms with them dying.
Well,
like,
it's not, he can't stop them from dying, right?
That's true.
Like, if he zipped over there and grabbed the principal who was on fire, it's not going to stop him being on fire.
Yeah, this is true.
He doesn't have his freeze breath yet or anything like that.
Yeah.
So. It's kind of weird that so the basic premise of this one, like, after you get through the coach stuff, is that, so the B plot, effectively, is that Lana quits the cheerleaders and she gets a job as a coffee waitress.
Yeah.
That's her B plot. Then the other B plot is Lex and Lionel can have a conflict.
Yeah.
So we see Lionel again, and we were saying that they're both really decent actors.
Yeah, they both are. Like,
Lex in
probably,
particular.
Lex in particular. I really like him. Like, I think he does the character really well. He's probably the least awkward out of all of the actors.
Definitely. I think, yeah, for sure. For me, it's a tie between him and Chloe as far as their acting so far.
Yeah.
But I think that might be because she's playing quite her character is quite sort of sarcastic, so it's a little bit easier to be...
Also,
She has less earnest moments.
plus, I feel like as well, it's probably difficult for a lot of the actors to really get into their roles at the moment because there hasn't been a lot of dialogue to actually
Yeah.
put them in that position where they're able to, like, actually act.
It's a lot of talking about what's happening.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, even someone like Papa Kent, who sort of was fairly integral at the end of this episode, but ended up doing nothing.
Yeah.
But even him turning up, he had a few scenes where he was doing action, but he only said like 3 or 4 lines.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Clark is still saying a bunch. Clark and Chloe and Lex have the most to say.
Yeah.
Which is good because, you know, we're getting a lot more of what kind of a person Lex is.
Yep.
And, you know, I think it's really interesting that he didn't want to fire the staff.
Yeah, the staff members. And then...
Instead, he sort of was trying to... he knew that it'd piss off his dad if instead he increased productivity by 20%. But at the end, he compromises by producing a better business plan that's going to save the employees.
Yeah.
Right? But then you learn a lot about Lionel because Lionel is like... You miss the whole point of what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really care about the employees at all.
No.
He just is like, you need to do what I tell you because that's I'm your father kind of thing. So that's an interesting development of their relationship, which we kind of saw coming from the first episode.
Yeah, from the first episode, the way that he was sort of saying you're not going to get anywhere with your eyes closed
Exactly.
and blah, blah, blah. So essentially, he feels like he knows better than what Lex does.
Some sweet parental abuse.
Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. We don't know.
We'll find out, I
We'll
suppose.
find out.
Maybe they're both wrong.
They could be.
Maybe it's a complex grey moral
I get the
area.
feeling, though, that Lex is probably, like,
Yeah.
sick of being trodden on by his father and is
Bloody-
probably the more progressive of the two.
Yeah, and he just wants to punch up and take his dad down.
Yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
he's still, in episode 3, is still a good guy.
He's still a good guy.
But he hasn't really had much interaction with... Oh, no, he did.
It was
when
in the-
Yeah,
yeah.
He was nice.
He was
when
nice to
Lana
Lana.
gave him the wrong drink. And
Actually,
then...
that was a fun... I was saying that was a really
was
fun
cute,
moment.
yeah.
Everything about that scene worked really well.
Yeah.
You know, Lex was really endearing to Clark and Lana. Lana and Clark really have chemistry this episode.
Yeah.
In the coffee scene, she sort of sits on the arm of his chair, and they're
Yeah.
quite cute. And then you get at the end as well, where they
At the end when they start screaming together, and it actually feels like, oh, hey, this isn't a forced to, like, hot guy, pretty girl.
We both kind of went, oh, this is starting
It's
to
starting
make some
to
sense.
look nice.
Yeah, and it was actually like a cute moment because that's a very like sort of weird. It felt like a film moment where it's like, oh, 2 characters
Yeah.
or whatever, but it worked because that's kind of the show that it is. You know,
Yeah.
they do stuff.
Despite
like that.
how corny it is.
Yeah, but you know, it wouldn't work
It's
if
adorable, though.
it's
Yeah.
cute in that kind of cheesy 90s way.
Yeah, I love it.
Where it's like you expect it's very sort of like Breakfast Club punching the air kind of moment. You know?
yeah.
Very much that. And that's really like it's a really fun tone this episode. Even though there was a lot of darker, there was much darker. Like
Yeah, it was a lot darker. Like,
punching
the
kids
bug
and shit?
one, I was just creeped out.
Yeah.
And then, but to be fair, this is probably, from what me and David have sort of made some speculations on, is that they would have filmed the pilot and episode 2 together, because they did seem to make a couple of improvements with, like, in terms of, like,
even
actually just everything, like filming
Basic
and
cinematography.
everything.
The quality of the filming,
yeah.
number of takes.
Not so much the quality of the CGI.
No.
When he walked through the fire at the end, that was still pretty bad.
Though
But
his jacket did catch on fire this time, which is new. He had
Yeah.
to take it off.
yeah,
They did something this time that was weird, where there was a few takes where they just really didn't do a second take of a shot,
yeah.
where a character said something and they was like,
It was really mumbled, or they've
can I just get a coffee? Clark
Yeah.
said that, he was like, can I just get a coffee? And instead of, can I just get a coffee? He was like, can I just get a coffee?
yeah.
And even Whitney had a line where he just said something and we both
it
went,
was
huh?
like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like, Whitney, can we get that one again? Nah, just use that take. It's fine. One take. I'm a one-take wonder.
I still think that Clark should talk with, like, a typical...
Oh, with like a Hicksville
accent.
accent. I just feel like then it'd be
But Dad, I want to play football.
Papa, I want to play football. You know. Oh, Lana, you're so pretty. You're the prettiest girl in the high school.
Oh my god.
Boy.
In the sauna.
Help!
Help!
Help! That was
That was it. That was it.
Papa, I'm in the sauna.
Help!
Help! Papa,
Help!
I'm in trouble.
That
There's
that where it
kryptonite.
sta- Yeah.
There's green glowy rocks. They're making me feel all funny like.
That's where it started.
Oh
the hail.
god, that's so funny. But so we worked out a few things this episode. Oh boy, I just keep hearing. I keep hearing Clark throwing the rock, going,
Yeah.
"Help! Help me, Papa!" Oh, it's amazing. So this episode we worked out that Chloe definitely is reporting on some of these things that are happening. The Torch, the newspaper, was burned down though.
Yes.
So I'm guessing next episode.
I don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe it's like becomes independent or something.
I think we might see like a rebuilding episode where Clark. That's where Clark gets involved with its production.
It could also be one of those things where they just don't address it at all.
Boom, it's there next time. It could be.
It could be any of those things. I don't really know what to expect from the show at the moment.
There's a lot of like sharp left turns with logic, which is fun because it's like a fun, corny show. But then every now and then it's like, oh, he just actually beats kids. Yeah. Like that kind of sharp left turn where you're like, oh, this was fun.
It's sort of like, oh, wow, this used to play at 7 p.m. on a Friday night.
Yeah. Were we all just fine with this? Kids, it's for like
apparently
kids, I guess. It's for kids. It's a high school show.
I never really watched, I never watched it because I've never seen it before. But I do, like, I never thought that it would be as dark as it is.
I've forgotten how, but it's very like they kind of play off how dark it is by having... Like, you know, the first episode, a kid literally tried to shoot up a school. The second episode, a kid tried to rape Lana.
Yeah.
This episode, you've got an abusive coach who hits kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's not very comic book at all.
At the moment, though, I just feel like the producers and the writers, though, don't even realize what they're writing.
Oh, God, no. They were like guy with firepower who was also a bad coach.
Yeah.
You know. And maybe what's going to happen is...
Because he's got a hot temper, so he lights things on fire.
Like,
and then...
It's very on the nose. Kid is gross and slimy, likes bugs, becomes bug boy.
Becomes bug.
Guy has...
Like...
Instincts. Guy gets tied to Scarecrow, becomes electric.
Because he has an electrolyte imbalance.
There's less of a connection on that one. But
I feel like they just had to put that in there.
Yeah, they were like, how do we get a villain first episode?
How do we start to set up the general...
The general premise, yeah. Which is fine. But then this episode, you know... the opening shot, I did mention this with the principal when he hits the desk. He has two towels, one around his neck and one that he's wearing. But when he hits the desk with the towel...
He's still got the one around his neck.
So he's just straight up naked when he sets fire to that desk. And that's a disturbing thought.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. I'm trying not to visualize how they shot that scene. I'm sure he was wearing another towel.
He was,
or just trousers or whatever. But that's still a weird... There's a lot of that non sequitur shit where they just clearly like take to take... They were like, nah, TV show. Let's just go for it. And that's...
Also, did you notice there was a lot of awkward edits where they obviously had done like 2 or 3 takes of the scene? They just used bits and pieces of like... The
conversation between Clark and Chloe in the Torch before it was burned down.
Yeah.
Where the shots were so close and tight in on Chloe's face with just Clark's shoulder, but it wasn't moving.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is another retake.
Yeah.
And there was another shot where it was like they're both moving, and then another shot where it was just the back of Chloe's hair not moving.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that this episode.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, it was better because of that extra work they put in.
I think so as well.
I think
it really did show they've obviously improved with their camera skills and everything.
And it felt fun. Like, this was the first one that felt a little bit fun.
Yeah, the first one that actually...
I don't know. I think that might just be that we've got to the point now where we're starting to enjoy it.
We're starting to enjoy it, yeah.
But, yeah, I really like the way that... Like, yeah, I think the biggest thing is that all of the characters have their own kind of chemistry together. Except for Pete, who still is nothing.
Yeah.
I don't really know what he...
He hardly had any... I only found out today, obviously today, but like this episode, that he is on the football team.
Yeah.
It's like before that I had no clue.
He tried out in the last episode or the first episode?
I don't even remember. That's a thing.
It was the first episode.
He's just that insignificant at the moment.
He's just kind of...
I don't remember anything.
He's just a background player, yeah. So he's in the football team now, which is good, because it makes him a little more popular, so he's less of a nerd kid. But then you've got Clark and Chloe, who presumably he'll get involved with the newspaper, I assume. I kind of thought she might find out about his powers today, because she was hanging out the window saying, help me, and then he ran up. Thankfully, the hothead guy, the coach, turned off the fire because he heard Clark coming. Otherwise, we might have seen Clark do a rescue and then a reveal there. It's interesting that they've held on to no one knowing for this long.
To be honest, I'm starting to wonder if they're just going to drag it on and have like no one ever knowing or ever finding out or coming close to it. Or being like, oh, there's something weird about Clark, but I don't know what.
He looks 40, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the powers, it's that Tom
the chiseled
Welling...
jaw.
Yeah, it's the Tom Welling we discovered this time is literally 30 when they were filming
this.
Yeah,
we actually looked it up. He's like 39, turning 40 next year.
And this was 2001. So, yeah, he was basically like way too old to go to school, so they were like, nah, grow your hair, Tom. That'll make you look older. Which he's done. Yeah. There are a few great scenes where you can see that Tom Welling has clearly just shaved. or hasn't shaved recently enough, and he's got like a little bit of an outline of his beard.
And it's like, no,
you're, like,
you're
no,
still
just-
a baby in the show. Stop.
It's like just double check before you do a shoot. Just shave him again.
Also, there's times, though, which we did see in the last episode, where you can tell that Lex Luthor
He's not
actually does have hair.
Yeah. It's in certain lighting when they
Yeah.
catch it at the wrong angle, and he's got like the outline of where they've shaved his head.
You can essentially see the new hairs growing back, and it's like, oh.
How much trouble would that be, though? Like, I guess you would just do it every morning in
I
wardrobe.
would have thought that they'd just give him a wig cap and some theatrical makeup. And
Or you'd think they do like a... Well, I guess it depends, because they don't really have that much of a budget, like, at this point.
yeah.
I'm guessing they blew it all in their super weird speedrunning CG scene up the
Probably,
stairs. It's so weird to see this CG, because I know it gets better later on, but the style is still there. Like, the fact that Clark moves is this, like, blur, or whatever, that doesn't really ever go away, but it gets much better, and you actually get to see
They
him
probably
in it.
do it on purpose, to be honest, to
Yeah.
be like, hey, look.
Well, yeah, he's the
Like,
blur.
like to keep the continuity, but also,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a cheap way to do it.
It just improves later on.
Yeah, I say that. It may not.
It may not.
It
It might have improved for like
Could improve in, like-
10-year-old you.
Yes. In like season 5 or
Yeah.
something, when they are like, oh yeah, we're making money now, but maybe it's for like the next 8 seasons. It's fucking trash garbage, and I'm just remembering it completely wrong. I don't know. There's definitely better CG at some stage. But things I want to see, less fire. There's a lot
Yeah,
of fire.
there's been fire in like pretty
Every
much every
episode.
episode.
Lots of
yeah.
exploding cars.
Yeah, yeah, a lot to do with cars, and it's like they don't know what else to do.
I guess they haven't really got that. They're like, we have a pyrotechnics budget to blow up a few cars. Let's just use it every
Yeah,
time.
just use it.
Because I think it's a case of on a network TV show, you get a budget every episode, and if you don't use it, then they reduce it.
Yeah,
So I think they have to use. So they're just like, I'll blow up a car every episode.
yeah,
or whatever.
probably.
Which has been happening, you know. But hopefully less fire, maybe.
Hopefully,
Maybe not.
maybe not.
I kind of want.
I'm just tired of the bad CG fire that like fills up the whole like TV screen.
The whole screen?
And it's
Yeah.
like we don't need that.
You
You
can
can
just
have
have it
some
blow
fire
up.
in the background.
Well, you can have like a even in the opening scene of the episode 1 when the Kents are driving, and it gets like covered in smoke or whatever because of the meteors. That was even better than
Yeah.
the weird
Fire.
the weird fire or the Lex jumping away
Fire
from
blast,
kid Lex jumping away from the explosion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing that'll get better.
Hopefully.
Maybe. But either way, like, definitely the characters are better this episode. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to seeing more Clark and Lana and see if they sort of develop as together a bit more.
Yeah, because
there's
there's a bit more this.
Definitely
this
more
episode.
chemistry. We got a bit more of Chloe and Clark's sort of their chemistry. She's much more of a strong character now. Like, she's got a very defined personality. She genuinely is like doing. She's really reporting properly. She's going out. She's doing those things. Didn't really get to see a lot of her with Clark.
The thing is, though, even though the characters are fleshing out more, I feel like their relationships aren't.
Yes.
I feel like you're learning more about the characters
But not-
and what they do, but not they're just not interacting with each other the way that you'd probably want them to.
They're kind of not interacting with each other much.
And so it's and so it's like, oh yeah, so Clark and Lana or Clark and Chloe. Well, no, Clark and Lana, because Clark and Chloe don't talk at all
Yes.
unless it's something to do with
the
whatever.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fine, kind of. But it's sort of, it goes back to, I mean, we were saying this during the episode, that it's weird that they don't really, no one seems to have a reason to be friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it's just
odd.
there's no reason. Like there's nothing linking them.
yeah, which, you know, maybe we'll get it. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't think so.
It would be fun if it stayed as like, because the characters would they're going to get really developed by themselves. But if the relationships they have stay kind of the same, it's going to be super weird.
Yeah.
Because you'll have these really fleshed out characters who still just don't really have much that links them at all.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know, it would make it more believable if they did have something to link them by. But I suppose it doesn't really matter. The dialogue's there.
They've kind of started a little bit. Like, Lex and Lana now have a genuine...
Yeah, a genuine sort of like, I saw you skinny dipping when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, and they've got a reason to sort of know each other, and
Yeah.
he's sort of, you know, he's in town and she's Clark's friend, and they sort of have that.
And Clark and Lana had that from the start just because they lived close to each other. And
Which,
the
did we
fact
talk
that-
about the geography?
Oh
yet?
yeah, we still can't.
don't really know
figure
where
out
stuff
the
is.
geography, honestly.
Where the houses... He goes out the house the wrong way at the end of the previous episode.
Yeah.
Because there's trees and he wouldn't
So
really
like
see with his
yeah, so
telescope.
essentially like looking from her front door, you'd think that his little loft thing where he's looking from his telescope would be like straight.
It's just got to be a straight shot,
straight
right?
at that.
Like a little bit
but then
downhill.
he walks down the road, like off to the left, away from his house, and I don't really
Where
know.
is everything?
Yeah.
Smallville. Maybe you know what it'll probably be is that the moment that it's relevant, they'll do it and they'll kind of retcon everything else.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be like, oh, well, Clark, you've always lived here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kent farm, we at least have some idea of where it is. We know where the driveway is and stuff.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen anything beyond sort of the barn and the kitchen.
And nothing nothing like aside from the barn and the kitchen, and nothing to really link how the Kent farm is actually situated, like in terms of where Smallville is.
Just like where it is.
Yeah.
We got a helicopter shot,
Yeah.
but it didn't tell us anything except that they own a farm.
Yeah.
It's
There's
like,
just
okay,
a lot of corn.
cool. And like we get some shots on the front porch. Really what we need is a shot of someone driving to the Kent farm so that we know where it is.
Actually, as well, when you think about that like horrible CGI shot at the start of the last episode, they come over in a helicopter, then zoom in on the house, CGI, whatever.
Yeah, the house is
that's the
CG
front
model.
of the house, I'm assuming. I believe it was the front of the house.
Yeah.
And so also, where is Lana's house? Like,
Well, I think
how would he...
I think it's down the hill to the left because the barn is out the back of the house.
Yeah.
And Clark's loft faces Lana's house.
Okay.
So I think the house is at the front of the block. Then you've got the barn, which is at the back of the block, which faces the trees, which is where Lana's house is.
Okay, that makes sense.
But how does he see through the trees to a house?
Who knows?
Doesn't make
Magic.
any sense. I don't know. The magic of
Special
cinema.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got X-ray vision. He doesn't have that yet. But like, yeah, that's really.
He might have it and not even know that he has it. That's the thing,
Well,
though.
there you go. He's seeing through stuff.
Yeah, he's just seeing through
Just
stuff.
seeing through. But then if that was happening, surely he'd be seeing people naked all the time.
I don't know.
Maybe he does.
The eyes see what they want to see.
Maybe he thinks that's normal.
Yeah, maybe.
He's like, everyone is naked.
And it's like we're just... Well, we're not watching it from his perspective. We're watching it as someone that's like
It's not a first person.
But when we're looking through the telescope, we're seeing it through his perspective.
He's looking through the trees.
Yeah.
How weird, though, if that... I don't know. I guess we'll get an explanation at some point. Although probably not. Nah, probably not.
At this point, I keep being like, yeah, we'll find more about that out later.
They've got a lot of episodes left this season to get some of those explanations in place. Mm-hmm. But it's something...
Whether or not they use them or just use them to
just
sort of prolong the
Lana and Clark thing before they actually have like a...
Have to do something.
I mean, they've already held
conflict.
they held hands in the first episode, which was super weird because she had a boyfriend. And she broke up with Whitney, right?
I don't know what's happened.
Because she didn't...
Where was Whitney this episode?
He was at the start of it because he was in the football game. He just vanished. Yeah. But like, because in the previous episode, she was like, "Oh, you were mean to my friend Clark."
But then also like, because he got the save for the bug thing.
Yeah.
And that's just how the episode ended, and then it started again.
Like, are they together?
Who knows?
Is it?
I think they're still together, and she's just
not spending any time with him.
A little bit confused.
A little bit confused. Just having a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screaming.
Well, she's just really nice.
Yeah. She could just be super nice to Clark. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say? I guess we will find out next week. But yeah, this was a much better episode. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot better. A lot more. Well, not a lot more happened, but it was just.
It was a lot more there.
Yeah.
There was a lot more, like, everything kind of felt like it was in place.
I didn't laugh at as many things because not everything was ridiculous.
Not in the show, at least, except for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, the accent. That's probably.
Hi.
But yeah, that's going to be this week's episode. If you guys want to help support us, you can. Just head to patreon.com/DCM.WORKS in the show notes. We're also powered by hover.com. It's one of the easiest and cheapest ways to grab yourself a sweet domain name. And if you use our promo code, which is in the show notes, you can get a sweet $2 off when you transfer or buy a new domain. And with that, we will see you guys next week for what will surely be another hot mess of an episode.
Hopefully. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. If you want to support the show, just head to patreon.com/DCMWorks.